Bhavya ma'am, please start.
A very warm good morning to all the participants. So, welcome you to the third day of the Faculty Development Program on Research Methodology. The first 2 days have been quite engaging with the beginning from Dr. Manoj on Introduction to Research and Research Design. On the second day, we talked about qualitative research, and in that, we saw how to use in vivo and how to work when we have data of the qualitative sort. Today, we are going to be talking about quantitative research, which is when you are dealing with data and analysis of that data. We again have Dr. Manoj with us today, Assistant Professor, JNU, and today he will be taking this session on quantitative research. We'll be just starting with the session. The quiz and corresponding material will be uploaded in a short while. So, Manoj sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Bhavya. And once again, welcome all the participants. And today we will be starting from the wherever we stopped in the last session. So I was talk about the introduction of the research, and in the second part, I talk about the design or study designs of any research. So we was discussing about the designs of the research. Thereafter, I will be a little bit want to explore about the sample size estimations or what is the use of sample or sampling. So I will be starting from there only, and then after that I will be taking the quantitative research. So in the quantitative research, basically, uh, you need to start with the some kind of the statistics. Okay, so which kind of the statistics you will be requiring and what kind of the software you will be requiring in sense of the quantitative research. So quantitative research, again, if you recall, the I discussed the three types of the research. One is the qualitative and quantitative and mixed, and second one is the your philosophical historical research, thereafter the survey research, and then the experimental research and the case study. So if you see here, I can break the qualitative and quantitative in two parts. Similarly, I can break the philosophical research and historical research in one part and rest in the second part. So the second part will be a part of the your quantitative research. Similarly, if it is if I'm talking for the theoretical research, basic research, so that is the one part, and the other one is the your applied research or experimental research is the other part. So if I can draw a line or I can just break into the two parts, so it more strictly it is not, but morely you will find the all quantitative research into the second part. Okay, so I'm giving you a cut line so that you can see the second part will be the your quantitative research. Okay, and thereafter I will be trying to explain you about the SPSS. So how you can work on the SPSS if time permit, then I will be going for the introduction of the SPSS, and then I will be elaborating so how you can do yourself with the SPSS. Okay, so now I'm starting with the first thing, that is the sampling. So let me start with the larger scale. Yeah. So there are the two things. One is the qualitative research, one is the quantitative research. So once we are talking about the quantitative research, then we will be see that we can do the survey research, we can do the experimental research, or we can do the applied research also. So how you, once you will be entering into the quantitative research, means you want to just bring out the some figures from the your field, from the your experiment, from your laboratory. So in for that purpose I will be looking that what will be the my populations and what will be the my sample. Okay, so let's say I will be conducting any study in Uttar Pradesh, then what will be the my population and what will be the my sample size. Or if it is you want to do any kind of the research, then you must know what is your sample, because you can't consider the entire populations for your research work, for your thesis work, for your project. So you require the some of the small part of your population, so that you can easily tell about from that small part, this is the entire about the your population, this is happening in this populations. Let's say uh, I will be talking for now. You will see that in the UP, the election will be commenced, maybe started with the after the 2 years. So what will be the your projection? You want to do the kind of a survey, what will be happening in the new what will be happening in the upcoming elections. So you want to do the survey, so you can take the few areas of the Uttar Pradesh, and then you will be saying that this will be the scenario of the Uttar Pradesh for the upcoming elections. So now I will be starting with these population. So population is the whatever the my study area, the entire study area is the my population. Let's say if it is I want to conduct the election survey in Uttar Pradesh, so this entire Uttar Pradesh is the my entire Uttar Pradesh is the my populations. And out of that I will be considering, let's say, 1000 um, respondent from the entire Uttar Pradesh. That will be my sample. So sample is the smaller, or it is the subset of the your populations. Okay, the collection of the unit from the population where we draw the inference about the population. So basically, what is the my purpose? This is the my populations and this is the my sample. Then I want to see that what is happening in my populations. Okay, so to make an inference about the populations, you want to infer about or you want to tell about your populations, so that we will be doing the with the help of the statistical inference, or you will be going for the quantitative kind of the methods or quantitative research. So studying the entire population is very difficult or impossible. This is basically you require the your samples. And if you see that the entire population is will be done in a survey. If you recall yourself for the census is conducted after every 10 years in the most of the countries. It is also happening in India. So uh, so this is the census is done in on entire populations. It means that each and every person of this country will be surveyed for the for the government of India or for the census. So this is the census is the one part where we will be covering each and every one, but other part is the we will be taking the sample. So this is the thing. Now it is the now you must know what are the parameters will be considering for the selection of the sample. So you must know the sampling frame. So sampling frame must be a list of the all the sample unit are drawn. Okay, so let's say if it is I'm conducted want to conduct a survey in Uttar Pradesh. So I must have the name of the voters. Okay, so I can see the voting list of this Uttar Pradesh, and then randomly I can select the some of the people, or I can select the with the help of the statistics I can select the some of the people. So if it is I want, so this is the one example which is I'm talking here. So similarly, in your perspective, you can also define what is your sampling frame. Let's say I will be conducting some COVID-19 study. So let's say the COVID-19 patients are the my list. Okay, so the name of the COVID-19 patients are the my list, and this is called as the sampling frame in terms of the sampling. Okay. Next, then after that you can easily understand what is your population. Population is nothing but your entire population. So population can be defined as including the all the peoples, all the members who are covering in my research area or the items. So whosoever are the voters, that is the my populations. In case of I'm doing the election survey. Okay, so because there is a very rarely enough time or money to gather the entire uh, uh, about the entire population. So it's very difficult in sense of the money, in sense of the resources, in sense of the time. So we cannot do that with the entire population. So usually what we will do in research is the we will be considering some sort of the some sample, and this sample will be telling about the entire populations. So sampling will be required who you want to generalize your results, all the doctors, children's and Indian woman age 15 14. So you can make your own criteria. So you must have the some target population. Let's say I will be conducting the election survey in the Uttar Pradesh, but I will be considering only the youth. So youth can change the entire the elections. So my criteria, I can make my own criteria about the my populations. So that criteria is the subset of the again population, but it is considered as the your target population. So target population is whatever the my population. I can give you another example. If I just want to conduct the prevalence of the smoking in any particular city, and if I want to do this research, then the entire populations of that city is the my uh, population. What is the target population? Who are the smokers? So only the smokers is the my target populations. Okay, and then after that I can easily tell about the my my sample. So this is the we already discussed about the sampling frame. Sampling frame is the nothing but list. So list, you must have, you want to conduct any survey in the your university, so name of the student, name of the faculty, name of the other staffs will be your sampling frame. So you must have the all the list of these peoples. And then after that, there are the three factors influencing the sample representation: sampling procedure, sample size, and the participation. And then how much uh, response you will get from the field, or what is your sample size, that is the affecting the your sample representations. So when might you have a sample the entire population, very small, or let's say very rarely you will find that there is a very rare diseases there, then you can conduct the study on entire the populations. Okay, the types of the sampling design, as we already discussed, the probability sample and non-probability sample. So this entire sampling selections means how you can draw your sample from the entire population, which will be divided into the two parts. One is the probability based, another is the non-probability based. Means that if it is I'm selecting any sample from the population, so that will be done with the help of some statistics, some random procedures. And if I will go for the non-probability samples, that will be my convenience, because I cannot go for the each and every districts of the Uttar Pradesh for the election survey. So what I will do, I can consider few state and then I can conduct my own election survey. So this is the one way. So this is my what this is my for the convenience sampling. So I'm just selecting whatever I know or whatever I can easily reachable, that I can selecting. So this will come into the non-probability sampling. So again, this will require another set of lectures if you will be entirely understand the what is the sampling procedure for the selections. Okay, so these are the points which you can also. Then after that, I little bit I want to, because most of the scholars and the faculty or researcher are interested to know that what sample size should be required for my research. So it is the very not easy, but it can be easily understand once you know your objective. I already told you that objective of any research, of any work, is the very important part, because if you are clearly, precisely defining your objective, then you can easily achieve the entire things, because you can easily say that this will be my questionnaire, this will be types of the data, this will be the my sample size, this will be the my output or analysis. Once you will be clear about your objectives, so you must define clearly your objectives. Okay, so sample size, the more heterogeneous population is the larger sample size. It means that आपका जो whatever the populations is there, it is the heterogeneous, means there are the so many people find out with the different backgrounds. So that means it required the larger sample size. Depend on the topic, the frequency, frequently it occurs. Okay, and for the probability sampling, the larger sample size, the better way. So if you will be considering the larger sample size, it will give you the large better results. Okay, if you are considering the small sample size, maybe it will not give you the appropriate answer of your research question or your objectives. Okay, with the non probability samples, not generalize regardless of the, still consider the stability of the results. Okay, so factor that influence the sample size calculation. What are the factors which is influencing the your sample size calculation? So uh, but before of that, it's a level of significance. What is the your level of significance? You want to conduct your study at 5% level of significance, 1% level of significance. What is the desired power, 80% or 85%? So that's, you must define one or two tail test. So you will be using the one tail. Yeah, this means entire this two tail you will be using. The small less differences or effect. So smallest clinically important differences, the differences that investigators think it's a worth detecting. Okay, and justifications of the previous data. So it can be taken from the your previous. It's yesterday I also told a publication of the data, previous work, review of the record, and the expert opinion, and software or formula being used to calculate the your sample size. So there are the n power will be software is available where you can calculate your sample size, and you can also calculate this sample size with the help of the manual calculation, or you can use the Excel also. So this is depend on you. So for the sample size calculation, you can see these are the things are required. So design and the objective of the study. So this is the first important part, that is the what is the objective of your study, and then design, then types of the outcomes. So what will be the outcome? So let's say I just want to see that conduct the election survey in the UP. So my objective that, which party will be mostly coming for the next coming elections. So this will be the who are the winning party for the so this is the my outcome. So I must know what will be the outcome of my research. If it is I just want to conduct any prevalence, smoking prevalence study, so what will be the outcome? So you must know in the very beginning, so that you can easily it will help you to summarize your sample size calculation. The smallest effect or the differences we want to detect, that we can consider the power with the we want to detect. Okay, so desired level of significance, what is the level of significance, and D is the margin of the error used for the estimation of the precision and expected dropout rate of the subject. Okay, so this is the one general formula where you can see that the cross sectional study if you are conducting, so that is the n is equal to z alpha by 2, then pq over d square. This is the one formula for the proportion of the characteristic under the considerations. And this is the description about the q, d, and z alpha. What is this one? And the 95% is the confidence interval. So it's I already told you that for the sample size calculation, you must have the your objective. So what objective is telling? It means that what is the purpose of that one. So what is the hypothesis? So it will be calculate the mean value, it will calculate the proportions, it will calculate the ratio. Accordingly, you can use the corresponding sample size. Okay, for the one sample t-test, there is another sample size. For two sample t-test, there is another sample size. For the pair t-test, there is another sample size. For the your objective is in ANOVA and comparison of the mean value, this will be having another formula. So this is the way of the to calculate the sample size according to the your objective and the what you are measuring from that objective. Either you can measure the mean value, prevalence, or whatever it is. Okay, accordingly you can go for the your sample size. Okay, so this is the how to decide the expected p value. So this is sort of the another kind of the things where you can understand this later on once you will be full flash go on the sample size calculations. But before of that, I can also tell you for the those who are the humanities background or the from the social science, they can also need to tell about the what is the sample size, how many if it is also you can do the anthropological study if you are doing the qualitative research or even quantitative research, then even you require the what should be the your sample size. So in the most of these social sciences cases, we will be considering uh, only the thumb rule. Sometimes whatever the my resources time, accordingly I can decide the sample size, or some other things will be requiring for the selections. Okay, so this we will be doing in case of the social science sample size calculations. Okay, so this is the precision how you can calculate. So this is required another time. It means you need to understand the what is your objective, and accordingly what is available in the literatures. Okay, for example, to estimate the population proportion who favor the government decision of the demonetizations. Okay, so I will be saying that this is the formula which we already discussed, and p is the proportion 50%, and d is the margin of the error, and that is the I'm taking the 10%. So you can easily calculate the 400 as a sample size. Okay, so these are the another examples where you can see that how the you can calculate the sample size. So there is a two divisions in the sample size calculation: sample size calculation for the non-probability sampling and probability sampling. So probability sampling means where we involve the statistics for the selection of the sample, and then you must calculate the sample size for this one. In other part where we are using the non-probability sampling means the selection of the sample done on the basis of the convenience, on the basis of the some other other your judgment. So this bunch of the sections require the another way to calculate the sample size. Okay, so this is the done for the sample size calculations. I think now you can see that this power analysis and NCSS are the software available for calculation of the sample size, where you can easily go on the Google and then find out these softwares. Okay, so till now I discussed about the sampling and little bit about the sample size estimations. Now you can now I'm moving for the quantitative research. So till now you must link about the what we discussed in the first sessions about the research. Research can be divided into the two parts, the qualitative and quantitative. Now you must know about the what is the design. Design is the another part. After that you must go for the how to select the sample. What are the procedures to be used for the sample size selection, and then after that sample size estimation, how much number of the respondent will be required to get the your information. Okay, now I'm going for the next slide. So this is the quantitative research, and then overview of the statistical methods. What are the it's give you the flow chart and overview where you can see that what kind of the things you can see with the help of the quantitative research. So quantitative means you are gathering your data in the form of the numbers. So numbers means you are collecting data in the form of the ratio, interval, or ordinal. So if it is your data types are in these three forms, ordinal, ratio, or interval, most of the time if you are collecting the data in these three forms, then you will be sort of saying that you will be doing the quantitative research, means you bringing out some kind of the data from the survey or from the experiment or from the other source. Okay, so here yesterday we talk about the what is the research. So research can be defined based on the process, activity, and problem, and systematically. So research is a process where we will be involving so many activities, and to know about your problem, which should be done systematically. So this is the sort of the one definition which we discussed about yesterday, and this is the your research process. So in this research process,
Manoj
uh,
sir, Manoj
yeah,
sir,
yeah.
could you also share the PPT side by side?
So it's PPT is
It's
okay,
not visible as of now.
okay, okay. So this was the quantitative research, and then overview of statistical methods which will be required according to the quantitative. So we already given that there are the three types of
Sir,
the.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt again. It's still not visible.
it's coming. It's coming. Maybe.
Okay. Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Visible. Now it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You may continue.
Okay.
Thank you
So
so much, sir.
we discuss about the research, then we discussing the research process. So here you already know that this is our research process. Then sort of we will be discussing about the sixth part where we will be doing the analysis of the data, because most of the quantitative research will be required the some hypothesis testing. So you need to test your hypothesis. It means that you need to give the answer of your research questions or your research objectives. Okay, so which we will be discussing here in the how you can formulate, and then how you can test those hypotheses, what kind of the quantitative methods you can use for your research. Okay, so till now you can see this screen where you can see that there are the lot of the statistical software is available. So if you see that SPSS is there, Stata is there, MATLAB is there, then SAS is there. Okay, then R is there, and Excel is there. So Excel is also Atlas TI is there, and Vivo is there. So if you see here, the Excel and R is the freely available software, so where you can do your analysis with the help of these two software. So, and if we talk about the SPSS, SPSS is the easily understandable software where you can do the analysis with the help of the menu driven options. So there is an option for the menu, and then you can just click on the chi-square, then it will give you the chi-square results. And once you will be putting your data into this, and if you highly paid software is also available in the market. If you see that the SaaS is there, where you will be getting the lot of the highly paid jobs. So you can also explore the such kind of the software if you are so R is also giving you highly paid jobs in the for the scholarship for so we trying to discuss with you the one software which is the SPSS statistical package for the social sciences. And this we already discussed about the classification of measurement of the skills. So whenever we talk about the any kind of the information collected from the field work, it's must be come in the form of all these four. Okay, so whatever you are collecting, it must be a nominal, ordinal, or interval and ratio. So on the basis of this one, we can tell about that this kind of the statistics we will be going to use or we will not going to use. So this is the happening in the, so basically you cannot go beyond these types of the data. Okay, so you must always link, or you must know what is the types of your data, then accordingly you can go ahead. And this we already know that what is the quantitative and qualitative approach. So we are focusing that in case of the quantitative, and in sense of the quantitative means that you are having the predetermined everything, predetermine objective, predefine the design, predefine the questionnaires, everything, and then accordingly you must know what kind of the statistics you can use. So what is the other thing is that you can do a lot of the statistical analysis with the help of the quantitative data. And that is you can do with the quantitative data, and you cannot do for the qualitative data, but some sense you can also transform your qualitative data into the quantitative data, and then you can do the some analysis. But in once you will be transforming your data from the qualitative to quantitative, so some information may be not transformed into the categorical data or in the form of the quantitative. So that is the another drawback of the transforming your data into the one form to another form. But if it is you are getting the data in the quantitative, so quantitative is always you look about the number represent the information like questionnaire, survey data, frequency measurement, performances level rating are or will be used for the quantitative data. Okay. So now my main lectures will start from the now. So what will be the your analysis strategy for the quantitative research? Okay. So what you will do, because all of you got some informations, all of you went for the field work, and let's say you went for the field work, then what will be the your first step? This is a very important question. You need to think about that once you will be getting the data. So everyone is saying that I will do the statistical analysis, I will use the some tests. So that is not the answer of the your analysis strategy. You must tell about the specifically what you will be doing in case of the for the analysis. Okay, so that's you need to tell about. Okay, so what is your strategy for the analysis? So strategy means that I will be bringing the data from the field work, then I need to put into the Excel or in the I need to tabulate that data in the some forms. And this this data can be first I need to see the my data, how the my data is, what kind of the sort of the analysis I can perform, is really is coming in a better way, or it is really having some error, some missing value, or some high and low value. So this sort of kind of the things can be done for the first step of the your analysis. Okay, so once you are having the any data, then there is a four things which you need to do for any kind of the data. So first one is the description, then exploration, and discovering the differences and finding the relationships. So I will be telling you one by one what is this. So descriptions, and before of the description you must check the quality checks of your data. So whatever the data you are coming from the fieldwork, so you need to try to understand that is there is any kind of the error, is there any need of the quality checks, or you need to see that what data is not covered in this my analysis in my collection. So this sort of the analysis you need to do. Then after that you need to see that what is the description, what you are see, what you can see with this data. So that is called the description. So description can be done with the descriptive statistics. So descriptive statistics is nothing but you just wanted to know that what is the mean, median, and mode or standard deviation. So basically you just wanted to know that what is the mean and standard deviation of your data. So from the mean and standard deviation you can easily find out that what is your data look like. Okay, so that you can see the description of data. Another way is that you are having the some categorical data. For example, you are having some ordinal data, then you can also do the descriptive statistics. So descriptive statistics for categorical data or for nominal or ordinal data will be done based on the um, frequency. So how many are the male and female, or how many are the first division, second division, third division, fourth division. So this you can do with the help of the descriptive statistics. That is the either you can get the frequency or either you can get the mean and standard deviation. Second step is the exploration. So you want to explore your data with the help of the two categories, either the male and female, or so you are keeping the two or more variables with each other, and then you want to see that what is the relationship between these two. So let's say you are considering the gender and the education qualification. So what is the category, these two are the variable are categorical. Then you want to see that how many are the male are who are educated or who are non-educated. So this kind of the cross tabulation you can do with the help of the, that is called the exploration of your data. Then after that, discovering of the differences, which is the most important part of this analysis strategy, means you want to test your hypothesis. Oh, so till before of these two step Bazi, just description of data. You can just give the very basic analysis of your data, but after that you can test your data, test your hypothesis, and it can directly give the answer of your research question, whatever you propose in the beginning of your research or you plan for doing the research. So this is the one thing. And then finding the relationship. Sometimes I just want to find out the some relationship between the some variable, that can be do with the help of the measure of association, means correlation regression. You can do the with, and hypothesis testing can be done for the t-test, chi-square, or ANOVA regression. So this sort of kind of the things you can do with the hypothesis testing. Research strategies in case of the quantitative and the qualitative. So if you see that main emphasis is that quantitative is the number theory testing, and here you are in a qualitative you are theory building. It is the structures or unstructures or generalization and contextualizing understanding, and hard reliable data, rich and deep data. So here you can deep analysis can be done for the qualitative research, or reliable data can be generated for the quantitative data. So sort of the what kind of the designs you can use in case of the qualitative: narrative research, ethnographies, and case studies for this both the cases. And data collections is highly structured interview, means you will go for this survey and data from the laboratory or cross-sectional longitudinal, and you can use the secondary data, means you can use the census data, you can do you can use the national family healthcare data, and a lot of the things is available. You can also look the secondary data from the article reports, whatever it is available. And in case of the qualitative unstructured semi-structured interview, observation, and written reports, data analysis, descriptive statistics, and inference. So there are the two divisions majorly. Descriptive means description of the data. Inferential means the infer about the your hypothesis. Okay, and in case of the qualitative is the text and image analysis, thematic, and the content analysis. Now I will be starting with the one by one. So just I'm giving you some outline about the what are the statistical tests you can use for the hypothesis testing, or tell about the inference or statistical inference of your objectives. Okay, so I will be starting with the one sample t-test. So one sample t-test, um, okay, one sample t-test, maybe I will be discussing the t-test, pair t-test, ANOVA, and non-parametric. So these are the two divisions of the variables. So variables is nothing. Here I'm just sort of trying to explain you about the data types. So there are the two types of the data. One is the nominal ordinal, other is the interval and ratio. So nominal ordinal is the having the chi-square test, Fisher-Exes test, logistic regression, and survival analysis. So these are the come into the um, in the form of the nominal. If you are collecting data in the form of the nominal and ordinal, then you can go for the sort of these kind of the test. If you are having the continuous outcome, so for example, you are bring out data in the form of the interval and ratio. Okay, and this is also called as ratio and interval, also called as the continuous outcome variables. So that is the t-test, pair t-test, analysis of variance, analysis of covariance, and the linear regression, and Wilcoxon rank sum test, correlation. So these are the most of the commonly tests used for the interval and ratio data. So this is the another pictures for you all, so you can understand the these previous slides. Test of continuous outcome variable can be seen here. If it is, I'm using the continuous, that means that it must be divided into the two parts. One is the parametric and non-parametric. So parametric methods are those methods which are following the assumption of the normality. If your data is following the normal assumptions, then you will be sort of using the parametric methods. If it is your data is not normal, then you will be going for the non-parametric methods. Okay, so here you will see that x is equals to 2 and y is the normal. So y is normal means your data is normal, and there is a two categories, or there is a two variable which you are using here. And then if you are having two variables, then what you will do, and if later on if you see that x greater than 2 and y is the normal, so if you are having the more than two samples, so more than two samples, let's say you are conducting the study in the uh, in three different districts of the Uttar Pradesh. So it means that it comes under the three samples and greater than two, so three districts. And if it is here is only you are considering only two districts, so it will come into the two. So here unrelated and related. So if your data is unrelated, then you will be using the student t-test, and related, then you will go for the pair test. And similarly, there is a similar test is available for the non-parametric. It means that there is a y is not normal. Your data is not normal, then you will be going for Wilcoxon rank sum test and the Wilcoxon sign rank test. Okay, so if you go for the more than two samples, so it's called as the one-way ANOVA. And if it is the sample are repeated means the same sample, same subject can be asked to give their informations, and the pre-election, on the day of the election, and the post-elections. Okay, so this is the same in person will be considered. So in that case, we will be using the repeated measure of ANOVA. And then similarly, there is similar test will available for the non-parametric. So this is the critical valley, and the Friedman's test will be used. Okay. So it is the most common test which will be used for the nominal and ordinal data. it called as the chi-square test, and it will be used for the categorical data. It means that the data must be in the form of the nominal and ordinal. Then you will be using the chi-square test. Okay, so the most widely used non-parametric test. So this is the most of the time you will be using the chi-square test. Useful in the test involving nominal data, but can be used for the higher scales. Okay. Higher scales means you can go for the ordinal also or nominals. Okay. Uh, for example, if I can tell you about the some of the example is that if you are having the two variables, for example, I given you an earlier example of the gender and the qualifications. Gender and qualification are the two variables where you can apply the chi-square test. If it is your option is coming like that, A, B, C, or D. Okay, favor, undecided, against is the your question. Yes, no, kind of is the questions. For example, who win in the BJP will win in the election or not? Yes, no. Okay, so this is the our questions, and based on the such questions, which are the classifications that can be used for the chi-square test. And family of regression analysis. If before of that, I can tell you about the correlations. So correlation can be used to see the uh, relationship between the two variables. Okay, so how the one variable can be related with the another variable. So for example, the if you are studying the for 2 hours and then you got this much marks. If you are studying the 8 hours, 4 hours, then how what is the impact on your marks? So you are having the two kind of the data. One is the number of hour you are studying, and the another data is the marks got in any exams. So these are the sort of the two variable. Then you want to see that what is the relationship between the these two variables. Okay, so this can be a positive impact, negative impact, or maybe a no impact. So this kind of the analysis is called as the correlation analysis. Okay, now it is the next part of the correlation analysis is the regression analysis. So in the regression analysis, we want to see that what is the impact of one variable on the another variable. Okay, so let's say I'm studying the two I'm the studying some hours, and what is the impact on the uh, my marks. Okay, so this is this positive impact or negative impact, or how much it is. Okay, so in the correlation you will see that it is a positive, negative, it is giving by the correlation. But now you want to see that is this how much the variance is explained for the my marks of in any exam, really is explained or not. So that can be sort of analysis is called the regression analysis. But now I will give you the divisions of the regression analysis is the nominal dependent variable. So again, you need to recall your types of the data. So your types of the data is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So if it is your nominal, so there are the two things here. One is the dependent variable, another is the independent variable. So if it is your dependent variable in this form, nominal dependent variable, then there are the two labels. Okay, nominal means two label, yes, no, male, female kind of thing. Then you will be using the logistic regression. And if it is have three or more levels means mild, moderate, severe pain is there, and first division, second division, third division, and fourth division is there as a dependent variable, then you will be going for the multiple logistic regression. Okay, and ordinal dependent variable, you also go for the ordinal logistic regression. It's giving you a flow chart where you can understand that how and what are the types of the regression analysis is available for doing the analysis. Okay, and next is your dependent variable. Earlier dependent variable was the nominal or ordinal. Now your dependent variable is the interval. Then what kind of the analysis you can perform? So that is the you must go for the, always in the statistics you will be going to use your assumptions of that particular test. For example, if I am talking for the chi-square test, so in the chi-square test we will be using see that assumption of the chi-square. So assumption of the chi-square that every cell, so there are the cells is there, so that cell count should be greater than 5, then you will be using the chi-square. Otherwise your result will be considered as a wrong. Okay, if it is you are also using the regression analysis, then you must need to see that the assumption of the regression analysis. Okay, so these are the regression are very important for telling about the any inference or telling about the answer of any your objectives. That is the very important. So the first assumption is the test for linearity. So test for linearity, math means these variables are linearly related to each other. Okay, so there is a significance relations, linear relationship between these two variables, then you can say that this assumption is met, then I can go for this test. Okay, so this test for the normality and then homoscedasticity you can also check. Then it is called the linear regression if it is you are having the one independent variable and more than one independent variable, then it is called the multiple regression. So now you can understand that this is the, we are discussing here the linear regression and the multiple linear regression analysis. So these are the two things. So linear regression means only the one independent variable and one dependent variable. In multiple regression analysis, one dependent variable and multiple or more than two independent variables. Okay, so this is the multiple regression, but you always needs to look the all the assumption of the regression analysis. Similarly, you can see this flow chart and where you can find the multivariate kind of the analysis and all the assumptions will be mentioned here. Okay, now I will be coming back on the parametric methods. So parametric methods are those methods which following the normality of the data. So normality of the data is how can you can see the normality of data. You can take the mean and standard deviation. This is the very basic method. You can draw the histogram. You can go for the quartile, and you can also test. You can use the any statistical test, that is the Shapiro-Wills test will be used for the testing the normality of the data. So now I'm coming on the very basic test, which is the one sample t-test. So one sample t-test means only one sample is used. So you must know what is the samples. Samples means one sample will be collected, two sample will be collected, third sample will be collected. For example, for vaccine development, in the case of the vaccine development, what we will do in once we will be doing the vaccine development, so we will be giving that vaccine to the two kind of the uh, we will be giving this vaccine in a two way. One is the just a vaccine given to the patients. So let's say we recruited 100 subjects or 100 COVID patients, and then we giving the this COVID vaccine to the 50 patients, and we are not giving any kind of the medication, but dummy medication will be given to the rest 50. So this kind of the sort of the sample. So this there are the two sample, one who are getting the original vaccine and one who are getting the dummy vaccine. So these are the two samples. So similarly, you can define the three sample, four sample, and one sample. So here we talking about the one sample. So in the one sample, we just wanted to test that comparison of the mean value. Okay, so comparison of one groups of the subjects. So so what will be the hypothesis in that case? So let's say we are comparing the this samples mean value with the some existing value. So existing value can be find out from the previous work, from the research article, from the other state data, and that can be called as the hypothetical value. Okay, or you can also consider as a hypothetical value whatever the existing value you will find from the literatures or from the previous work. So my hypothesis is that there is no significance difference between the mean value of this sample and with the 105. So here I'm taking the my hypothetical value is 105, and in alternative hypothesis I will be using that the mean value, there is no significant difference between the mean value of this sample to the 105. Then I will be using the one sample t-test when we are using the one sample and testing that mean value with the hypothetical value, okay, any assumed value. So this is the formula for the t-test. T is equals to x bar minus mu, or this is the s by root n. Please correct it. So this is the s by root n for the formula. Similarly, we can discuss about the two sample t-test where two independent samples are there and comparison between a different group of the subject. Okay, so let's say the comparison of the mean response from the two treatment given. So I given you that what is the I'm taking an example of the vaccine which just now I discussed in the last slide. So I'm giving the vaccine to the 50 and dummy vaccine to the rest of the 15. So there are the two samples, one who are getting the original vaccine and other who are getting the dummy vaccines. Okay, so then I will be seeing that what is the titer value or what is their temperatures, body temperature. Okay, so is there the body temperature of both the person are the same or different? So initially it states I'm just interested that these two set of the people are having the same temperature and the temperature will fall or not. So this sort of the analysis called the two sample, because these two are the different because they are getting this dummy medicines or this is the original medicine which is given to the another sample. So just we want to see that what is happening in these two cases uh, for the for their titer value or their with the temperature value. Okay, and then next is the pairs t-test. Okay, so pair t-test is the a different one. It is the one sample but it will be collected at the two time interval. Okay, the same person can be asked at the two time interval to give their informations. So for example, blood pressure change from the baseline within the group. For example, if I will ask you that what is your temperature, take the paracetamol medicine, and after that 2 hour I need to see the what is the temperature. So before and after kind of the thing. So before the medication and after the medication, um, what is the mean change in the temperature, okay, or what is the change in the temperatures value. Okay, this is really done with the help of the pair t-test. So student t-test is a very simple formula for this one. So I will not tell you the exactly, but you can also explore yourself what is the t-test formula and other things. So in this case, t is just telling about the mean of one sample minus mean of the another sample and divided by the standard deviations and another standard deviation of the both the samples. So here what is here, one sample and another sample is there. So what is the these mean values of these two and the standard deviation, and then you can put into this formula, and then you will get the t value, and then you can make the decision about the your hypothesis. Okay, so again I'm just emphasizing on the assumption of the any test. Okay, I told you that in the correlation you must check the assumptions, in the regression you must also check the assumptions. Now also I'm also emphasizing that if you are using the or testing the t-test, then again you need to use the assumption of the t-test. So what are the assumptions? Samples are independent. So samples are independent, and the bell-shaped distributions like a normal distributions, the bell-shaped curve with the center. So basically what is happening here, so in what is the crux of these assumptions, because your sample should be independent means this sample should be a different one, and it follow a normal distribution. So whatever the temperature you are getting, so the temperature should be a very normal means most of the value are coming around to the each other, and their sample size should be less than this one. So this student t-test is a difference larger than the expected by chance. So this is the reason where we will be saying that do not reject the H naught, and this is the p value where reject H naught, and these are the observe and critical value of the t distributions. Okay, so this can be done at the 5% level of significance, or you make the decisions little bit slow my computer, so I'm waiting for the next slide. So in the next slide, I will be showing you another example where you can see that how you can calculate the t-test. So this is the student of marks 1, student of marks 2, and then their mean value, number of the sample, and the standard deviations. And then you can easily calculate the. So if you see here, the t value is 2.17, and then you can also know the p value. So p value is also given, and then you can make the decision about the your hypothesis. How you can do this with the in the SPSS, this you can see in the next slide. So it's also very easy. So there are the few steps. You will go into the some menu drive like analyze, and then you will go for the compare mean, and then it will ask you the one sample t-test or two sample t-test or paired, and then select that one, and then it will ask you the drag the variables. So whatever the variable is you are having, that you need to drag, and then accordingly you will see. So this is the analyze, compare mean, independent sample t-test, and these samples will be in these two forms. So there are the two samples, so there are the two categories. So one sample, second sample, and then you will be putting in the, for example, I will be taking any example of the blood pressure or whatever, so that you can put into the SPSS. Similarly, you can do for the pair sample t-test. So pair is means before and after kind of the situation. So just you want to see that the sample before of the medication and after the medications, what will be happens, and that you can drag in SPSS, and then you can do. And third one is the one-way analysis of variance. So if you are, once you are having the one sample, two sample, and three sample, then how you can make or how you can do the analysis. So this, if you are having the three sample or more than two samples, then you can go for one-way ANOVA. These are the assumption. The assumption is already discussed about the t-test. So the whatever the assumption you following in the t-test, that will be carried for the analysis of variance, even that these are the required for analysis of variance. The one way of analysis of variance means basically, and this is the test statistics. So this is the difference in the mean and the variables of the difference. So this again you will be using here what you did in the t-test, you mean of one sample minus mean of two samples. Here you also finding the differences of the mean and the variability of the differences. So this is giving you a F statistics. Okay. So you want to see that how these three doses. Zero doses means dummy vaccine, or 10 mg vaccine or 30 mg vaccine that you giving to the patients, and then you want to see that what is the effect on their mean responses. Okay. So this is the model for ANOVA, and all errors are independent. Errors are normally distributed with mean 0 and equal to variance sigma square for each group. And what is the hypothesis for analysis of variance? So all mu i's are equal. So there is no significance, H naught will be, there is no significance difference between the the mean value of the one sample, mean value of second sample, and third sample. Or you can say that there is no significant difference between the 0 mg, 10 mg, or 30 mg. And similarly, you can write about the alternative hypothesis that at least one is different from the others. Analysis of one-way ANOVA. So this can be done with the multiple comparison, and multiple comparison, once you will be getting the significance, so rejecting the null hypothesis, and it means that the alternative will be uh, tested. So this, after that you will be requiring which one is the comparable, means which one means comparable means, so sample 1 is differ from the sample 2, or sample 2 differ from the sample 3, or 3 is differ from the 1, which one is the differ. So that will be done with the help of the multiple comparison. So this is the another example. Let's say we are introducing these some three ICT flavors in the classrooms, and then we see the impact of those ICT tools in on the students. So what is the, so flavor 1, 2, 3, and then we will be calculating the mean and the standard deviations, and this will be the F value. So here we will be using the F test, and then this is the P value and F test, and which is telling about the one way. Model assumptions means you see that these two distributions are not normal, and here you see the normal distribution but unequal variances. So variances also are equal for the both the distributions or both the samples. And then if it is, if in this diagram you can see that both the samples having the same mean value and the equal variances. Okay, equal variances is the most important assumption of the ANOVA. It, if the variance are the not equals, then you can not give the appropriate answer of your objectives, or it will be giving you a wrong statistics. Okay, so normal distribution with equal model assumptions. So model assumptions can be you can see what are the model assumption is there. These are the sort of the another kind of the assumptions. Now you can see the what is the parametric, non-parametric, which we already discussed. That parametric is what the normal distributions, and non-parametric is the non-normal distribution. So there is a some test is available. So I in the flow earlier flow chart I told you about the what test you will be using about the for the t-test, for the pair t-test, for one sample, for the ANOVA. So this I'm not going to discuss in large. So till now, if you feel any questions that you can ask. So this is the my last slide for this one. Now I will be thinking to tell you about the how you will do with the SPSS. Okay.
Sir, we'll take questions in the end only, so you can proceed with SPSS.
Right, right. So just I'm opening that. So SPSS is the statistical package for social sciences, and you can also learn even you can also try with the Excel, or you can also go for the SPSS. So let me see, open or not. I already shared this my this PPT, an introduction to the SPSS.
Bhavya
सर।
ma'am, Bhavya
हेलो।
ma'am,
हाँ जी सर।
या क्वेश्चंस आंसर का सेशन कर रहे हैं आप?
जी सर।
Uh,
ओके ओके।
सर मुझे लगा आप थोड़ा एसपीएसएस के बारे में बताएंगे।
just wait, ma'am. It's coming.
हाँ जी सर, हाँ जी।
Can you share that PDF file?
ठीक है सर, मैं कर देती हूँ।
हाँ.
राइट सर।
Hello.
यस सर। सो ओके फॉर यू।
Yeah, yeah. It is visible to all.
आशीष सर, विजिबल राइट?
हाँ, यस यस मैम, यस मैम।
ओके।
So I can scroll that.
I don't think that will be possible, sir. You just let me know. I'll scroll. Not a problem.
Okay, okay. So can you come up on the third slide, statistical package? So here you will see that statistical package is, again, there are a lot of the statistical packages available. So but we will be discussing the SPSS. So how to start the SPSS? So it's very easy to start. So you just click on the your SPSS software and it will be appear, and it is just similar to the Excel. So if you know the Excel has the columns and the rows. Similarly, you will find in the SPSS also. So there are the four windows. So four window, one window is the data editor, another is the output viewer, syntax, and the variable. So what is the meaning of the data editor? Where you can see your data. So whatever the data you are importing or entering into the SPSS, so that is called the data editor window, and output where you will see the output of the your, or you can see the your results. Okay, so whatever the t-test results is coming, that you can see in the output window. And then syntax and the variable view. Variable view is attribute of the your variable. So whatever the variable is you are entering or keeping, so that's, you need to see the attribute. Attribute means what is the meaning of the how you can identify the nominal ordinal interval ratio, what is the length of the your variable, what is the label of the variable, so that you can also do. So if you go in the next slide, you can see that there is a data view. Data view is where you can see the data. Another is the variable view. So if you see the yellow highlight one, and which showing that one is the data view and the variable view. So in the variable view is the important one, where you can see that the value label is also important, and the measurement. So measurement is that SPSS is entering your data in the form of nominal ordinal. So it's don't know it's a wrong or right, but you need to also check yourself what you are doing. Okay, so you must check that your data is nominal, then you can also click on the nominal, or if it is the ordinal, then you can also click on the nominal one. Then next you will go for the next slide. If you see that this is the output window or the the editor window. So here you can also write the some codes for the your statistical methods, or you can whatever you want to draw the diagram. For that you can also write the codes. Okay, and go for the next slide. So in the next slide, how the data view and the attribute of the variable. So attribute, so whatever the informations about your variable, so that will come into the variable view or the data view. Okay, now SPSS menu. So menu is nothing but you can see that file at the top row. You can see that file, edit, view, data, transform, and the analyze. So the analyze is the heart of the SPSS. So most of the things can be done with the help of the analyze button. Okay, so you can just click on that and then you can get your analysis done. And if you want to transform your data, data means that you want to add some variables, you want to transform some variable, that you can do with the help of the transform menu button. Okay, so another thing is that you see the next slide where you will find the column variable and row variable. So column variable is it's coming into the column, and the row is there. Row is this one. It means that column is having the all the names of the your variables. Names of the variable means name of the your questions. So whatever the question you keeping in a question as, that will come into the columns. Okay, so these are the columns, and we talk about the row. Row is this one, parallel one. Okay, so row is means one information of the one respondent. Okay, so
Sir,
whatever.
Manoj sir, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you. I think your screen sharing is still on.
previous one or this one?
Yes, the previous one. I'm just stopping my share, and I would request you to stop your share as well.
Okay.
Yes, I think now it will be okay.
Now it is okay.
Just a second, sir. I'll share my screen now. I hope my screen is visible to you, sir.
Yeah, it's coming.
ठीक है, sir. You may continue, sir.
Okay, so data view is nothing but go for the next slide. Bhavya, next slide. Next. Yeah, please. So data view, the row are the cases, the entry of the single question. So whatever you are having the one questionnaire means it will come into the row, and column are columns. Okay, so variable, so what is the name and types of the variable, it's a numeric or it's character, with label or missing, that much of the information you can do by yourself, or SPSS do automatically about the your variable. And there are the three types of the variable data types, which we earlier discussed about the four types. So one is the nominal, ordinal, and the scale. So scale is combining the interval and ratio data. Okay, so these are combining two, and then this is the three types of the data. Okay, so go for next. So here you can see that in the second last column is that measure. So measure means it's measurement of your variable. So whatever the variable you are importing into the SPSS, that needs to be checked with you. Okay, so you need to drag this one. So it is the nominal data, ordinal, or scale, that you need to always check for the your variable. Now you see the what is the variable view. So variable view, it will tell about the what is the variable type. It's numeric, date, comma, dollar, string variable, and width or decimal is there, name and the label. So it's broader name or the smaller name. So that will come into the name and label. And level of measurement you can give about the scale, nominal, ordinal. And the another important one is value label. So you always give the numbers, because the always all the software, most of the software is understanding only the number. They will not understand the male and female. Okay, so you always enter about the code or import always the codes. So this codes needs to be a label. Label means what is the one meaning, what is the two meaning. So one is the male and two is the female. So that can be done in the value label. Okay, go for the next. Types of the data, that's we already discussed. Types of the variable, again we discuss. Go for the next. Level of measurement, this is the another important, but here there are the three measurement: nominal, ordinal, and scale. Scale is comprises with the interval and ratio. Go for next. And you can see the nominal, ordinal, and scale. So if you make the questions in your questionnaire with the help of the nominal variable, then you can do the less analysis. As you suddenly go for the ordinal, you can do more analysis, and the maximum analysis can be done for the scale one. Go for next. This is another flow chart where you can understand with the help of some example and then key statistics used for these methods. Okay, go for next. So I'm giving you an example where you can also tell about the how you can change the some value of the variables. Okay, so this you can see that this is the you can change this value by the level of measurement, or you can use this one. Go for the next. And you can save your file. So you can save the SPSS file with this much. So you can save your data into the save file, or you can save it in a Excel file. Go for next. And sorting of the data. So sorting of the data can be done in the SPSS. You go for the transform, and then you do the um, sort, and then you can drag the variable. So whatever the variable you want to sort, that you need to drag into the box, and then it will be you will get the sorted data. Okay, so you can see here. So this is the sorted data according to the names of the respondent. Okay. Go for next. You can also go for the transform. So in the transform means you can add two variable, you can use the log. A log of particular variable can be done with the help of the transform. Go for next. So this is the window for the transform. So how you can do this, you will be entering the new variable name, and then you will be add the two variable. Let's say I'm adding the variable 1 plus variable 2. So that's I need to write here, and then you will get the output. So see in the next slide. So this you can convert. So I am taking here as a log value of the height variable. Okay, so you can see the log value of height variable. Next. So similarly, I'm stopping here, I think. So you can also import your data into the SPSS. So how you can import the data into the SPSS? You just go into the file and then read text data, and then it will ask you certain instructions, and then you can easily import your SPSS file into the SPSS. So this much can you do with the help of the SPSS, and a lot of the analysis can be done easily with the help of the SPSS. So now I think, Bhavya, you can call for the questions or any other queries.
Thanks a lot, sir. Informative session. Of course, SPSS is a session in itself and will take some time to deliberate on, and a proper hands-on session is required for that. But our
Yeah,
main topic today
it's
is
itself. I'm just giving you an overview for all and whatever you ask me,
yes.
because each and everything is required at least, but two sample t tests required at least 1.5 hours to understand the entire scenario. But I'm just giving you an overview for this SPSS
So I
sample
think it
size
is a good
estimation.
start. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, the participants can definitely, self-elaborate on these. We'll be
Yes. Yes.
sharing the presentations with the participants, so do not worry about that. Sir, questions. I have a question from Renu Chaudhary. Please elaborate. How can we decide our sample size?
Yesterday we also discussed about the how you can decide your sample size. So sample size can be calculated based on the two things. So your samples selection based on the non-probability or probability. Okay, or you must know clearly and precisely mentioning about your objective. So whatever your objective is with you, then accordingly you can say that what will be the outcome variable. For example, I'm taking an example of the one sample t-test. So for the one sample t-test, there is a one separate formula for the one sample t-test, and I also given in my slide how to calculate the prevalence of the proportional variables. Okay, so that can be a one way. Another way is for the non-probability sampling is that you need to use the some thumb rule. So sometimes we will be using the 10% of the populations, or sometimes we will be saying that you can consider the more than 500 samples, depend on the studies. Okay, and whatever you can also consider the previous studies which was done in the other area, or on in your respective area. On the basis of that, you can also calculate the sample size.
Okay, so Arup sir's question, is it possible to have quantitative analysis in humanities research?
Yes, you can do. Most of the people are doing, or you can see that you can also do the experimental research in even in humanities also.
Gitanjali Dey's question, please give example of normal and non-normal assumption.
Example of not normal and
Normal
non
and
non
non-normal.
yeah. So normal data is like that. The most of the information is coming as a similar. So for example, I'm asking you how much money you are getting for the daily expenses, okay, from the your house. So most of the respondent are saying that they got 500, 400, or 600. So most of the response are coming like that. So it's once I will be drawing this one, I will be drawing the distribution. So this distribution will be a symmetrical. And if it is coming in this form, then we will be saying it is a normal. So there is some test is there. You can see those tests, how to check the normality. Okay. Other ways that in a simple manner you can learn. So if it is same example means somebody is getting the 10,000, somebody is getting the 500, 600, 800, and somebody is getting the 20,000, 200, or 100. So this data once I will be drawing on a distributions, so it will be coming in a different shapes. Okay, so this shape is called as the non-normal distributions. Okay, this is a very basic example where you can understand.
Right, sir. Ashish Eka's question, which one is easy to use, Excel or SPSS?
I suggest whichever is comfortable for you, you can go for the Excel. Excel is very easy, but no, easy is SPSS, but Excel is required some remembering kind of the things, because you sometimes you need to write the some formula or that. So that formula is easily available once you will write the ME. So it will give you the formula of mean, but you need to remember. In case of the SPSS, you just drag, or you can just uh, go into the menu, and then you can go for the your concern statistical methods.
Now, sir, a question from Lieutenant Jafar Ali. In order to study relationship between two variables, one gender is normal and the other satisfaction level is not normal. Which type of statistical test, parametric or non-parametric, can be applied?
Okay, so really you need to first understand these two things which you asked. Gender is the um, not coming not normal, and another one is the, so you need to understand that you must have the interval and ratio data. So interval and ratio data or ordinal data can be seen that it is a normal or not. But if we talk about the gender variable, if it is qualification variable, so these are the categories, so we cannot go for the or you cannot test the normality of those data, or you cannot say that it is a parametric non-parametric. So once you are having the kind of the data which is coming from the interval or ratio data, that can be easily say that it is a parametric or non-parametric.
Okay, so a question from Renu Sharma. Can you explain variables with examples?
Variables with examples. For example, I'm not sure you need to specify more on the variables. So variables are, there are two types: dependent variable, independent variable. So okay, so dependent variable or independent variable. For example, I'm giving you an example of. Do you think that the education of the parents is impacting on the children's marks? Okay, so it's impacting on the children's marks. So marks is the dependent variable or impacted by the parents' educations. Okay, or your background of your family. So these two variables are your independent variable, which is impacting the other one. So whichever is impacted, that is the dependent variable. Other one is the independent variable. And variable can be a many ways we can define, but specifically you need to ask.
Thanks a lot, sir. Again, we have lots and lots of questions that started pouring in, but I think due to time constraints, we'll have to stop here. Sir has already shared his email ID. If you have any issues, I think sir will be happily addressing those.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, sir. It was a very, very informative session. Both the days, it has been really enlightening for us newbies especially. And thanks a lot for your time and motivation. And we'll definitely be approaching you again and again for further such sessions. Thanks a lot, sir, for being with us for these 2 days.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bhavya.
I hope you had a nice experience as well.
Yeah, but I'm really thinking that how the participants is not coming at this platform, no? It's
But you know, we are having a discussion forum. So of course, the questions that I have taken up now are already answered, and some questions are there on the discussion forum. So we'll
okay.
try to send them to you so that you know their queries can also be resolved.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine.
So that won't be an issue, sir.
Yes. Yes. No problem.
And very shortly, I'll be also uploading the presentation that sir had shared, as well as the quiz and related things will also be uploaded on the portal. So thanks you so much, sir, for being here. And we look forward to having you again with us.
Okay. Thank you, Bhavya. Thank you
Thank you
for.
so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.